Hello, how's it going? My name is Efren, and welcome to the Modern Mexican. I keep wanting to say podcast. It's a YouTube channel. But anyway, I wanted to talk about something today. Let me take a drink of my water. All right, here's a topic for today's video. Um, Clarity over my life. Or just to summarize, clarity. In speaking to different coaches and people in business that are a few steps ahead of me, one topic that keeps coming up is that I need some clarity, not only for myself, but more specifically, clarity for the roles of my team members. And I can completely understand that because, damn, I want my shirt. I completely understand that because in the beginning, there was not really any fine line distinguished roles. We were all just trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure it out. I'm not a business owner. Or what I mean is, I didn't go to school to be a business owner. I went to school to be a nurse, and now I mow lawns. So, like, what do I know? But that's why I feel like we've been running sort of just like tripping over ourselves over these last few years just because we're all trying to figure it out. But now things are becoming more structured and concrete, and it does seem like what's missing now is really complete clarity regarding roles of each team member. And that's what I want to sort of to kind of go over today and see if I can just think out loud and move forward with the next step. So we'll start with one. Start with the first guy, Ricardo. So Ricardo is my goal for him and for his role is that he's a lawn care crew leader. So not only is he responsible for making sure the routes get done on a certain day, that he's keeping track of time, that his the whoever's with him, the technician, is getting things done appropriately and correctly. But he's also in charge of organizing the routes on our CRM. I was very hesitant to kind of delegate that at first, but I'm so glad I did because it doesn't make sense for me to organize routes because logistically I'm not out there on the field or driving. So I don't know what is the best way to optimize route efficiency. Um, there might be some nuances of like, oh, well, during a certain time of the day, it makes better to go north versus south or vice versa. So because of that, we should go to this house, and then that house. Those little things that come up that really, really help with tidying up certain systems. I don't know that because I'm not there anymore. So I made Ricardo responsible for that. And so far, he's been doing fantastic. So much better than I would be doing. And it's been helping me out a lot because it's one thing off my shoulders, one thing that's on in my mind. And when he gets to the storage in the morning, I mean, it's already there. No one's waiting for me. No one's asking me questions on what's next. He's already done it. So he can just get up and go, get the equipment, get the vehicles, get the trailers, and vámonos, let's go. So I'm super happy about that. Anyway, so aside from job fulfillment, route scheduling, he's also in charge of on the Jobber app completing the routes. That way, invoices can be sent. And then lastly, and it's sort of the last and final thing we've added on him over the last week, is to also be responsible for equipment maintenance and sort of keeping that on a regular schedule. So every 3 weeks, we'll focus on sharpening blades and sort of like a general quick check of our mowers. And then every 3 months or so, we'll schedule a more in-depth maintenance day where we're doing sharpening blades, but also checking, doing oil changes as needed, checking not checking oil filters, checking air filters, and taking care of any other repairs or making note of them during those times, greasing the grease points for their big mowers. So, I mean, that's four big things that I all did. And now I can almost completely, in a bundle, allow Ricardo to take responsibility for that. And it made sense because he's in charge of the mowing. So he should also feel responsible and attached to our equipment. The last thing I want is for him and the team to go mow lawns and not care about the height of how low they're mowing. They hit a rock or hit something, or something's kind of wearing down and breaking. And well, since they just show up to work and it just magically gets fixed, that they're not gonna really, not that they don't care, but they're not gonna be worried about it. Versus if they're actually keeping an eye on it, if he's actually having to document repairs and document things that wear down and be more observant about it, he's going to feel more connected to that, which is going to, by default, make him more responsible and educate, train the technicians to also be more observant and responsible. So that's in the works. And I told him that if everything goes well, we're going to play this out for a month. If everything goes well, he's going to make more money. And that's the thing, right? You have to give up you have to give up the money, give up the goods in order to buy your freedom back. And that's what I have to do. I have to give up the money so I can be free. So instead of being somewhat have money in the bank but have no life, now I'll be borderline broke but free. Now let's move on to Jesus. Jesus is another team member that we have. He is also my brother, but we keep that separate. I think we do a really good job of that. Right now, he is a technician, so he, along with Ricardo, take care of the lawns. Ricardo, like I mentioned, he's more in charge of sort of the overall picture of lawn service, and Jesus is his technician. Like, it's funny. I just printed this out. It's 5 vocal foundations for great communication, and one of them is rate of speech, which I tend to speed up on. So I need to slow down my speaking and emphasize certain things and not just have one long blur of a sentence. Anyway, what I was saying, Jesus is a technician and he helps Ricardo with the lawn service. So he's really just, the a workhorse in that sense of he's going to do whatever it needs. He's going to do whatever needs to get, whatever it takes to, he's going to do whatever it takes in order to get the day completed. If he's got to get on the weed whacker, he's going to use that. If he has to get on the mower, he's going to do that. If he's got to do leaf blow, he's going to do everything. He's well versed in all aspects of lawn service, which is, when training somebody up to be a manager, that's such a great spot because you get to know everything and touch everything in regards to what it takes to be a lawn service provider. Anyway, aside from that, he's expressed some interest in making more money. And that's what I said. I'm going to be poor, but free. So you got to give and take. And anyway, I'm all for it. It's something that if he wants more money, it's more responsibility. If he wants more money, that means it's things off my shoulders and onto his, which is what I need anyway. So it works out. So the plan for now is to train him up over 6 projects to become a full-fledged project manager. Sort of how Ricardo's a lawn care manager, he'll be the project manager. And so let's kind of walk through that sequence, what that looks like. So let's say me, Bob calls me or reaches out. He wants a landscaping job or a cleanup. Let's just call it a project. He wants a project. Consultation is scheduled. I go talk to him. I get all of the information. I come back to the office. I put together a proposal, send it over. He says, you know what? This looks great. Let's start. Fantastic. Half down. I receive it. Now let's move forward with scheduling. Next thing you know, all right, it's scheduled for next Wednesday. Perfect. This is where Jesus steps in now. In the ideal scenario, prior to Wednesday, me and Jesus are talking about the project and maybe even going to the property itself to do a walkthrough. That gives us the opportunity to really get on the same page, have him see what I see, and also, if the clients are available, an opportunity to gain some rapport with them, which becomes super vital once it's project day. Because come project day, I'm not there. So anyway, before I get there, before the project, we do a walkthrough, get on the same page, align, answer all questions, make sure he feels confident on what exactly the goal is and what we're doing and the time frame involved. Now, day of project, Jesus already knows what's going on. So here's the beauty of it. He gets to the storage at 6:30, and because he already knows what's expected, he knows what truck to grab, what trailer to grab, what equipment, what not to grab. Like, it's all set, and he can communicate that to his team, which in this instance sort of flips. Ricardo becomes his technician, and now him, and if we needed more people, then and whoever else is there, whoever else I bring in for that day, he is now managing that team, and things can move, and they don't have to wait for me to get to the storage to explain it, and then go through everything that we may need, and so it just allows things to move quickly, and that's what I've been lacking for so long now. So let's play it out. Now they arrive to the property. Again, like I mentioned, this is where the rapport or the initial walkthrough is so beneficial, because if Jesus was already there previously during our initial walkthrough, he already knows, all right, you go there, I'm gonna be here, and this is kind of the plan. And he sort of summarizes the scope of work to the team. And if there are any questions, the client, well, guess what? The client already just met Jesus a couple of days ago. He knows exactly who to communicate questions to or concerns to or any kind of updates. So now, like I said, I'm completely out. I'm fucking over here on the other side of town. And now I don't have to go back and forth from South Austin to North Austin to West Austin. Like, I don't have to do that anymore. That saves unlimited. It's like so many hours I can't even explain. And not even that, but just like the mental bandwidth that I get to save for what I'm doing at that time, which is going to be, building up our operations, building up other aspects of the company that are pretty weak just because I haven't built them up. For example, our irrigation department, that's that's really in it's in its infancy stage, and I want to get it to a point where I can scale it and delegate it and sort of just repeat what I've been doing. But anyway, that's a different story. So anyway, now Jesus has complete control of that day, of that project, of what to do, what not to do, who to talk to, who does what goes where. And I am nowhere to be seen, and that's fine. Granted, if something comes up, I am available. But compared to the past where I'm there for 8, 10 hours on site, now I just have to talk about it for 1 hour out of my day, collect like in a whole. It's such a huge improvement, huge improvement. And guess what? Over time, once we get a lot of repetitions under Jesus's belt and he's able to really get comfortable and build this role up to himself, let me rephrase that, build that role of project manager around Jesus, around him, to where it just feels like second nature, that 1 hour conversation may not even happen anymore. Projects will come and go and not even say one thing about it aside from just our initial conversation about it. Uh, that's the goal, and I think that these are the things I need to communicate with Ricardo and Jesus. Is my overall goal for them, for this role, for what that looks like, and I wanted to make this video to kind of put it out there, get it out of my mind because it's all jumbled in here, and that way it can feel less complicated. And when I'm talking to them, I'm not just talking a bunch of gibberish. Like I'm speaking to them in a very clear, easy to understand. Yeah, in a very clear and easy to understand way. So, lastly, we have my father, which he also works with us, and he just has like a world of 30 years of experience at this point. So he's very valuable in regards that he's very versatile in different things. I can just set him and forget, and things get done. He's a producer on his own. He doesn't need all the kind of like oversight, and that's what makes him super valuable. So the good thing about him is I can sort of place him where I best need, and he also has clients that he still manages for himself. So when he's not working over here, he's over there taking care of his clients. He's getting older in age, so that's why one of the big moves this year is to get that project manager role, just get it rolling, because I don't want my dad working out there in the summer heat every year all the time. I want him to work with us because he can, not because he has to. And then for me, what am I doing? Well, as the CEO, the Chief Everything Officer, I'm learning what the fuck I need to do. I need clarity in my role because it changes now so often. I feel like as soon as I get comfortable in a certain set of rules or role that I set for myself, 3 months later it's already changing. And I'm like, damn. So right now I'm like at the very brink of things changing, and I'm sort of refining myself. Over these last 2 weeks, I've been kind of just lost, but I think I'm finding it again, and it's scary, for lack of better words, because it feels like something's going to break at any point because I'm not hands-on anymore. I'm not like this to the problem. I'm now like this. So like it feels scary. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta grab it. But then if I grab it, I fuck up my team member because I'm over the word, I'm micromanaging them. I'm providing too much oversight. I'm stepping on their toes. I'm not allowing these people to do the job that I hired them to do. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. So that's sort of what's been going on lately. And I'd like to make a follow-up video regarding the same topic to see if I can consolidate all this nonsense mess in my mind and make it way more streamlined. And speaking very helps a lot. So if you're having trouble with it, I recommend you try this too. YouTube is free. Just make an account, hit record, and if you're fancy like me, get you a little mic, but it's not necessary. Um, just that doing this really helps with your public speaking and sort of unraveling your thoughts. So when it's time to speak and sound smart, you can.